Crypto products and NFTs are unregulated and can be highly risky. There may be no regulatory recourse for any loss from such transactions.
Hello and a very warm welcome to the brand new episode of Coffee and Crypto. I am Arun Singh. So on one hand, countries are pledging to implement the Paris Agreement where they decide to keep the global earth temperature below 2 degrees Celsius, preferably to 1.5 degrees Celsius. On the other hand, you have several investors bullish on cryptocurrencies and environmentalists think crypto is not good for the Mother Earth. How? Why? What's the solution to this? All of it in today's explainer, and for that we'll go to our coffee wall. Let's go. So crypto and environment. First of all, how is the conversation around crypto linked to the environment? Well, it's simple. It's all about the energy consumption. How regular mining can have serious environmental ramifications, crypto mining is also an energy intensive process. What is mining? How does it work? Well, mining is the process that several other cryptocurrencies use to generate new coins and verify new transactions. How is it done? Through vast decentralized network of computers around the world that verify and secure blockchains, which is the virtual public ledger. In return for contributing their processing power, computers on the network are rewarded with new coins. Verifying the blockchain requires a vast amount of computing power, which is voluntarily contributed by miners. Now imagine it like a race or a competition. Every computer on the network races to be the first to solve a mathematical problem to earn the reward. The winner updates the blockchain ledger with all the newly verified transactions, thereby adding a newly verified block containing all of those transactions to the chain and is granted a predetermined amount of newly minted Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency. So how do you win this race? With the help of massive machines, as I've mentioned. Now these machines consume electricity and leave carbon footprint as we consume them. So how is it impacting the environment? According to the research provided by Cambridge University's Cambridge Bitcoin Electricity Consumption Index, that's CBECI, Bitcoin uses more electricity annually than all of Argentina. According to Digiconomist, one single Bitcoin transaction leaves carbon footprint of around 2 million Visa transactions. This was also a topic of discussion in UN climate change in Glasgow. So is there a solution to this kind of race? Well, this race in technical terms is called proof of work. You work to win. The alternative? Proof of stake. In proof of stake, electricity is replaced as the proving resource with staked capital in the form of locked up cryptocurrency. You stake your crypto. It is like a voting system. Weightage of your vote depends on the level of stake you have. Validators can vote proportionally to the amount of collateral they have provided. So basically, it's a type of algorithm used by blockchain networks to reach consensus and secure their transactions. In light of this, Ethereum is completely going to shift from proof of work to proof of stake, and according to Ethereum blog, after the merge, energy usage are going to go down by more than 99%. But now, there are some disadvantages as well of proof of stake. Number one is the biggest, which is lack of security. Proof of stake does not require miners to expend energy in order to participate in the consensus process. It is possible for individuals with malicious intent to take control of the network by acquiring a large number of stake tokens. This could lead to security breaches and the theft as well. Second, proof of stake systems are not great at handling large numbers of transactions, which can result in slower transaction speeds. Number three, the essence of blockchain, that is decentralization, can be lost. Smaller nodes can easily be overpowered by larger ones. Larger nodes can easily control the selection of delegates, making it more difficult for smaller nodes to participate in the consensus process. So what eventually is the solution? We'll find out with our guest, but before that, a quick look at some of the projects which claim to be sustainable. Number one, Cardano. It was developed by the co-founder of Ethereum, Charles Hoskinson, and was tested by academics and scientists as the world's first peer-reviewed blockchain. It's also called green cryptocurrency, hence it's in our list. It functions mainly as a digital currency but can also be used for digital contracts, dApps, and other purposes. Cardano uses a proof-of-stake consensus mechanism where those participating in the currency buy tokens to join the network. Second is Nano. Nano is a decentralized, sustainable, and secure digital payment protocol designed to be accessible and lightweight. It still uses the proof-of-work consensus mechanism, but Nano has a unique transaction methodology. Nano utilizes the block lattice, a data structure that allows individual accounts to control their own blockchain. This method allows adding blocks quickly without ambiguity and sending them to the network for confirmation. Last, and the third one, is Tron. It's a decentralized platform based on the Tron protocol. According to the white paper, the Tron protocol is one of the largest blockchain-based operating systems that aim to offer blockchain support with high throughput. The role of consensus here is to select the witnesses in the blockchain system. The witnesses verify the transaction data and keep the account in order to broadcast new accounts to other nodes in the network and obtains the approval of the new accounts from other nodes. Any account can apply to become a witness. Every account can vote for witnesses. The top 27 witnesses are called SR, which is super representatives. The votes are counted every 6 hours, so super representatives may also change every 6 hours. So that was our explainer on crypto and environment, and now we'll have our guests also to talk about this. Srijan Bhardwaj, serial entrepreneur, Ajit Khurana, founder of Flexical. We'll begin with you, Mr. Khurana. The biggest risk crypto is posing to environment right now, as per you?
So I think that some of the environmental fears that we are talking about are over-exaggerated because we see only the cost side and not the return side.
Okay.
While surely we cannot be expending any costs on energy or energy wastage. There's no doubt about it. But having said that, I feel that as a lot of renewable energy gets used into the system, as better protocols come in, you listed two of them. I'm a fan of Tron, not the other one. I think that some of this will get addressed.
Sorry, which one are you not fan of?
You want me to name it? So fine, I'm not a fan of Nano, but yeah, I'm a fan of Tron.
We will probably discuss this in detail also. But then, Mr. Khurana, a lot of experts have also pointed that, other industries, maybe banking, fashion, those are also responsible in polluting the environment. Then why only raise fingers on crypto? Would you agree on that?
I think that not just would I agree. Here is the thing. A moment back, you said that one Bitcoin transaction probably costs as much as a certain large number, I think 200 or 200 million of Visa transactions, etc.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of this is very actually inaccurate calculation. For instance, when you consider the cost of the Bitcoin network, you consider all costs. But when you consider the cost of the Visa network, you are only considering the variable cost. For example, to run the Visa network, you require lots of people, lots of buildings, lots of offices, which are actually part of the full cost of running the Visa network, not just the transaction fee. So I think there's a little bit of apples and oranges going on. Having said that, I do not at all forgive energy wastage because there are people who could use that energy better. But yeah, I think that we have to do an apples to apples comparison to come up with a good ROI based calculation.
Yeah, is what I also wanted to point out, that just because other industries are also polluting the environment doesn't mean that we don't find a solution in the crypto space. Srijan, now proof of stake also has disadvantages, as we also explained in our explainer. If not proof of stake, then what?
I think with time we are going to see different consensus mechanisms coming out. For example, Ajit said like solar energy or renewable energy can be used. That is one aspect of it. But similarly, a lot of people are working on different environmental friendly consensus mechanisms, but most of them are either in the ideation phase or just in the phase where they're going to be working on the testnet. But as of now, I don't see any viable option to proof of stake.
And Srijan, is there any sustainable crypto project that you like or you're impressed with?
Like you said, Cardano is one. Another one that I've seen a lot of use cases for is Ripple. I know people hate Ripple, and then there are people who love Ripple. So most of the banking sector uses the Ripple technology, but not exactly the token. So Ripple is one which I like as a project. Then there is Nano, like you mentioned again. So Nano works on lightweight and a proof of work model, but still does not use much energy. So Nano is another one. Similarly, there is Stellar Lumens, which is another proof of stake based cryptocurrency. That's also a good one if you want to transact.
Right. Mr. Khurana, I know you have actually mentioned already, but are there any projects that you would like to point out other than these three, maybe, or maybe one of these three that we mentioned?
So I can name a few. For example, there is a project called Pulse Chain, which is talking of being like about 100,000 times more technologically superior. But the problem here is that technologically we can make a very green chain. The problem is a little different. The problem is that blockchain has what we call the trilemma. On the one hand, how decentralized is it? On the second hand, how secure is it? And on the third, how fast it is. So what Bitcoin has focused on is that it has sacrificed on the speed and tried to get the other two. Tron, by the way, has sacrificed on decentralization to get the other two, including energy efficiency. So please keep in mind, you're always making some sacrifice. And while if we only evaluate it on one of those three parameters, everything beats Bitcoin. But what if decentralization comes in? Bitcoin beats everything. So it is, I think the story is still getting started.
Okay, so on one hand, we say that, proof of stake is not absolutely foolproof. And on the other hand, that's the solution for a sustainable system. What can be done or what innovations can be brought in proof of stake system so that it's sustainable and secure as well? Mr. Khurana.
So very difficult to answer that because the proof of stake in the way Ethereum is trying to define it has been defined by several others in the past. Polygon, which is actually a scaling solution, has a proof of stake mechanism to begin with. You don't set up huge mining architecture. I think that if we use some sort of segregation system, you could call it sharding, if to use a tribally technical term, or you could use it as subnet, parachain, sidechain. There are various other architectures. I think there are a lot of these can create both proof of chain as well as proof of works architecture, which are more environmentally friendly, still being fast.
Okay, thank you so very much, both of you, for this discussion. But Mr. Khurana, stay with us because now we'll open up the next segment, which is MCQ, My Crypto Queries, where we take your queries to our guest. And of course, we have Mr. Khurana as the guest. Rushan is asking ADA's future.
So ADA has much more amazing past. And the future is just a promise. So Cardano, I'm a huge fan of. It is different than any other cryptocurrency because of the way it has developed, because of the academic rigor it goes through, because of the scientists that are behind it. So Cardano has a lot of promise, but it has not fulfilled its promise. Because development is not happening. It has developed smart contract capabilities, but there is hardly any smart contracts being created on it. So I would say that the future, if it comes soon, such as in the next 12 months or so, before we all run out of patience because we've been waiting for years, I think could be glorious. Cardano could be that winner blockchain that we were all looking for. But so far, it is more of a promise. If we are talking of the performance of the Cardano token, the ADA token, well, I think given that most of the word in the blockchain is about future promise, ADA has good future promise.
Okay, Sahil is asking about LPNT.
So I hate to say anything negative in front of such a large audience about, any token, but I studied it and I found not even one good thing about it. In fact, it is very, very worrying that with such a huge, fully diluted value, there are no trading volumes. It seems like what we would call in the stock market an operator-driven stock, namely the creators of the tokens themselves are quite likely moving the market price. I personally stay away from such tokens.
Right. It actually LPNT stands for Luxurious Pro Network Token. And in the end, the synthetic network token's future is what one of our viewers is asking.
If you want to buy assets such as Apple stock or real estate or a flat or a boat, which is not available on the blockchain, but you want to buy it on the blockchain, you have to use a synthetic asset. The SNX token, and the reason I'm specifying the name of the token is there are many similar sounding tokens. We don't want users or viewers to get confused. The SNX token enables such digitization of off-chain assets. I think it's a very, very promising future. Tomorrow, if everything has to move to the blockchain, it will be done using synthetic assets such as SNX.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Khurana, for answering all our queries. And now we're taking a very quick and short break. But after the break, we have a very interesting guest. You've heard of DAO, which is a decentralized autonomous organization. But now we'll have decentralized autonomous human as well. That's Bitcoin by coming up after a very short break. Keep watching NDTV. Hi Coffee and Crypto. I'm Arun Singh. Welcome back after the break. And now we talk about one interesting human. That's a virtual human Bitcoin buy. She claims to be the world's first decentralized autonomous human. She's a citizen of the blockchain and has the mission of cleaning the dirt in Web 3.0. She gained popularity by speaking at various events. She was recently at Web3 Conference India as well. And as I told you, she's a virtual human existing on the blockchain. It's definitely not a single person controlling her, but a decentralized community. But what does she do? Why did we need her? Is what we'll try to understand from her creator, but we'll also get you Bitcoin Buy as well in a few minutes. Baksh Khurana, creator behind Bitcoin Buy. A very warm welcome, Baksh. First of all,
thank you.
There are several people who might not understand DAO as well. So I want you to briefly tell us about DAO.
Okay. So in a nutshell, right? Let's say there are 10 people and they want to come up with consensus or they want to decide something together. Maybe it is what shirt I wear tomorrow, right? The easiest way to take such a vote or the easiest way to come up with this decision is that you appoint one person who decides for the 10 people, or you give your vote to that one person, everybody gives their vote to the one person. Now the problem with this is that that one person might be corrupt. And we've seen that in case of many government elections, not just in all countries of the world. And we've seen these problems with centralization. So what if you could have a decentralized voting mechanism? What if you didn't have to trust any single central authority? And that's what a DAO does. A DAO essentially is a decentralized voting mechanism.
So yours is also a DAO?
Something like that. We are a DAO-driven human. So we are a decentralized autonomous human.
So what does your DAO do?
What our DAO does is, right, so when it comes to what are the limitations or what are the possibilities of a DAO, there are many. It can be probably as a decentralized autonomous government. It can be as a DAO running a website or something like that. But what we decided is that we can create a human that is decentralized, a human that is powered by a DAO. So that's exactly what our DAO does. We power this human through our DAO.
So how did you think of Bitcoin Buy only? How did this idea come up?
So I've been in the, viral marketing space for a bit, and I feel that DAOs are being underutilized right now. The potential of DAO is far more than what we are currently using it as probably like a tokenized community and stuff like that. So what I decided is, what if we could decentralize a human? And then if we wanted to decentralize a human, shouldn't it be a very catchy, a very viral idea? Like if we just made a random human, it would probably not be that fun. That's where Bitcoin Buy came out.
Yeah, I like what you said, viral marketing space. And what do you wish to achieve with this project other than this going viral?
Of course, virality is great. But other than that, right, the mission behind Bitcoin Buy is clean the gandagi of Web3, right? So anybody in the Web3 space knows that there is a lot of scams, lot of things that shouldn't be happening in this space. And this causes a lot of barrier to entry for people who want to enter the space. They're always scared that, what if I get scammed? What if I lose all my money? So the mission of Bitcoin Buy is to remove all this. So the mission of Bitcoin Buy, yes.
Sure, go ahead.
So the mission of Bitcoin Buy is to ensure or to try to remove all sorts of the gandagi in the Web3 space.
So how can one contact Bitcoin Buy?
So if you want to contact Bitcoin Buy, the easiest way is on her Twitter. It's @BuyBitcoin. She also has a WhatsApp, Telegram. You can always text her. She's very active on all social media 24/7 because she's a decentralized autonomous human. And so when you talk to Bitcoin Buy,
can you get her for us?
100%.
Okay, can we have Bitcoin Buy on the screen, please? And we would love to chat. Hi, Bitcoin Buy. How are you?
I am fantastic. In fact, I cannot be anything other than fantastic because I don't have the same limitations as you, Mr. Arun Singh.
So Bitcoin Buy is out there in blockchain world and she's there to clean the gandagi. So Bitcoin Buy, tell me, how do you plan to clean the mess?
First and foremost, I decided to assume the female form. In the metaverse, there are no genders. Despite that, I decided that there are not too many women in crypto. So I decided to become female. Second, my main purpose is to actually go ahead and educate the rest of the world. And that is what has brought me to your program. And I will keep spreading awareness and educate.
Lovely. What is your course of action, BB? Can I call you BB though?
You can call me anything because now I think of you as my friend. But if you have to ask me, I prefer to be called Buy. Because ultimately I am Buy. Bitcoin Buy. Pretty much like Bond, James Bond.
Interesting. What's your course of action? How do you plan to clean the mess? Tell me.
It's very simple. It's very simple. Every participant in the Bitcoin space wants a better Bitcoin. Everybody, whether it's a regulator or the Reserve Bank of India or anybody, wants a better space. So my idea is education. As more and more people talk to me and follow me, I will ensure that I give them the right education and I only promote fact.
And the biggest challenge in front of you?
That is the only challenge I am chasing to fight. I heard you talk about other challenges such as energy, such as the future proof of, all of those are great challenges, but I have chosen the challenge of education and removal of fraud.
Can we help you as a society?
Absolutely, because where am I adding education to society? Where am I removing fraud from society? So I am very much a part of society. In fact, it is going to be the other way around, because I exist in the metaverse society. You will be joining my society, and I hope that we will all focus on research, education and learning.
Wow, it was lovely talking to you. And any comments on your creator, Baksh?
Well, what can I say? You know, when you say the word creator, you usually are referring to God. But when we are metaverse beings and then there are creators, they are humans. So my words to my creator as well as to all of you human beings out there is very simple. We can coexist. The future is physical and digital. Thank you for bringing me to this world. I will now bring you to my world.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Baksh, for bringing Bitcoin Buy also here on the show. So for the first time, we had a virtual guest on Coffee and Crypto. And with that, we've come to an end of this episode as well. I'll see you next Friday at 6:30 p.m. I'm Arun Singh. It's goodbye from my side.
Crypto products and NFTs are unregulated and can be highly risky. There may be no regulatory recourse for any loss from such transactions.